There was a time when mornings started with a milk bottle clinking on the porch, and evenings ended with static-filled TV and the smell of home-cooked meatloaf. It was a world of simpler joys, metal lunchboxes, rotary phones, and paper routes. A world without notifications, but full of neighborhood bike rides and handwritten letters. Today, we're flipping through the photo album of the past to remember 10 things every boomer grew up with that kids today just wouldn't understand. Rotary phones. Back in the day, making a call was a whole experience. You'd stick your finger in the dial, spin it around, and wait as it slowly returned before you dialed the next number. There was no speed dial, no contacts list, just memory and patience. Calls felt intentional, and you actually listened to the ring. These heavy phones sat like furniture, often on a special table with a notepad and pen nearby. The silence between rings was golden. Metal lunchboxes. Every kid had one, often decorated with superheroes, cartoon characters, or cowboys. These boxes weren't just for food, they were a statement of personality. Clunky, colorful, and sometimes dented from playground adventures, they held more than food, they held memories. Inside, a thermos that smelled faintly of soup, and a note from Mom. Today's soft lunch bags just don't carry the same magic. Milk delivery. Imagine waking up to find fresh glass bottles of milk waiting at your doorstep, straight from the local dairy. It was cold, creamy, and topped with a paper lid you had to peel off. Sometimes the cream would rise to the top, and kids would fight for the first sip. It was a morning ritual that connected families to their local farms. Today, the only glass bottle most kids see is in a soda museum. Paper routes. Before dawn, kids would hop on their bikes with a canvas bag slung over their shoulder, tossing newspapers onto porches. It wasn't just a job, it was a rite of passage. It taught responsibility, hard work, and how to handle a barking dog or two. Rain or shine, they delivered. In a world before screens, this was how people got their news and how kids earned their allowance. TV antennas and tuning dials. You didn't just turn on the TV. You fiddled with the rabbit ears, adjusted the dial, and sometimes smacked the side for good measure. There were only a handful of channels, and shows were events. Families gathered around like it was theater. Saturday morning cartoons, evening news, and I Love Lucy reruns filled living rooms. Today's endless streaming just can't capture that shared magic. Penny candy stores. With a single dime, you could walk out with a small bag full of jawbreakers, licorice, wax bottles, and Tootsie Rolls. The glass jars behind the counter felt like treasure chests. Kids would spend what felt like hours deciding, savoring each choice. It wasn't just about the candy, it was about the experience. Now, candy aisles are big, but they don't feel personal. Drive-in theaters. A warm summer night, a car full of kids in pajamas, popcorn passed between laps, and the movie playing under the stars. Drive-ins were the perfect mix of cinema and community. People watched from their hoods, tailgates, or folding chairs. It was romance, freedom, and family fun, all rolled into one parking lot. These days, the magic flickers only in memory. Home-cooked family dinners. At 6 p.m. sharp, the whole family sat down. No phones, no TV, just conversation and casserole. Whether it was meatloaf Mondays or fried chicken Fridays, meals were predictable, comforting, and full of love. Passing the mashed potatoes meant sharing your day. Today, takeout is fast, but it doesn't come with grandma's gravy or dad's bad jokes. Encyclopedias. Before Google, there were books. Heavy, leather-bound volumes lined the shelves, filled with maps, diagrams, and facts. When a question came up, you looked it up, and often learned something else along the way. There were symbols of curiosity, and every home that had them felt just a little wiser. Now they sit collecting dust in thrift stores, forgotten treasures of knowledge. Schoolhouse chalkboards. Teachers with dusty hands, chalk that squeaked, and the sound of erasers plapping together in the hallway. The chalkboard was a stage for learning, and sometimes punishment if you had to write lines. It gave classrooms a feeling of permanence and presence. Smart boards and tablets are sleek, but they lack the smell, the sound, and the soul of old-school learning. We live in a fast, digital world now, but there's something beautifully human about the slower days of the past. These little things, forgotten by many, built the rhythm of daily life for an entire generation.